convincing you to read books that I reviewed 1 star. Something that I dislike might be something that you like. And if something in here in this review makes you go, actually I think I might like that, then you're welcome. Because something positive can always bloom out of a negative. And my negative can be a positive for you. So it's not sponsored. I'm too small for it to be sponsored, okay? But trust, I switched from Goodreads to Fable. Woo! I am sticking with Fable because Goodreads, bye! Because my 1 star can be a 5 star for you. I'm gonna put the book right here. Okay, this book is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. You and I have some beef. I rated this 1 stars. If I could rate it lower, it would be there. It would be possible. It took me months to finish this book because the mere thought of picking it up was repulsive. I have never disliked a book so much. I have never hated a character before. This female main character made me want to actually get physically violent. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's get into the review. Let's rewind. It is very clear Elena Armas is trying to create an enemies to lovers story, but that's not what happened. No, because some of you girls really don't know what enemies to lovers mean. Please look it up. The trope was non-existent. Aaron, which is the main male character, was already obsessed with her by page 100, and in book terms, that is literally the first page. Anyway, and he also offered to be her date for the wedding in the very first chapter. So right off the bat introductions, you're already obsessed with her. What kind of enemies is this? Anyway, it is very clear that he's in love with her because I can read between the lines. Okay, I'm not a dumb audience member. I'm a smart one. I can read in between the lines. This man was already thinking about her and already thinking that she's cute. And you know, whatever, okay? She's conventionally attractive, but where's the enemies? Moving on. This book dragged on and on and on. And I love a good cliche. And I love rereading the same cliche in different styles. But this cliche really made me hate cliches, okay? It is so painfully cliche that it made me hate this type of cliche. I can go into a book knowing the characters will end up together despite whatever they have to conquer first. I'll still eat it up. But no, Elena Armas, you did not convince me at all. I was bored, I was tired, I was frustrated, and everything was so repetitive and predictable, okay? Listen, I will admit it here right now. I can't stand quirky female main characters that walk around pretending they are not conventionally attractive. I can't stand the can't wait to get into my ugly band t-shirt and eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's while I rock out to my unique music taste alone in my apartment where I am the happiest because I thrive by being my true self all alone, girl. Yo, are my eyes looking weird? Anyway, I can't do it, but I'm willing to read a story if the character has other redeeming qualities, and no, she did not. Let me just tell you that right now, no. The entire book was Lena's thoughts, okay? Lena is the female main character, by the way, if you haven't caught on. It's to the point where it was too much. We don't need every single one of her thoughts, okay? I literally don't want to live in somebody else's head. I already live in mine. Please, I can't. She is so insufferable. I don't root for her at all. Aaron Blackford, which is the main male character, is such a copy and paste of all the repeating mysterious hot men that we all salivate about. That there's really nothing that's special about him. Honestly, if everyone's an influencer, then nobody's an influencer. Same thing. If everybody is this copy and paste of like hot, dark, mysterious, rich-ass man, nobody is a hot, dark, mysterious, rich-ass man, okay? Don't get on my face. Anyway, he's not complex. He's very plain, very typical. Whatever. Their love is boring. I don't root for them. I don't feel their romance. I don't really care about their relationship. And even in the sexy scenes, I was just like, yeah, boring, okay? Okay, amateur porn could be better. Bye. Also, the writing, the book that shows you how to like describe things or a situation, like, oh my God. Why did we suddenly go from like explaining where the main character was located to all of a sudden telling me like a geographical location about New York City, and then all of a sudden that relates to the interior design of like hipsters and the trending of the 2000s. No, like please, where did we go? Because like I don't know how A equals squared C minus, okay? Because that doesn't make sense. It's such a thing as A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and none of that got me to the solution. Okay, so this is me trying to convince you to read this book, The Spanish Love Deception. If you like immediate love, you know, where the girl is Delulu and is not finding the Solulu, right? Main male character is mysterious, okay? He's rich, okay? He's kind of got that cold demeanor and then warms up to you. He's very loving and caring once you break that ice mold. The girl, she's a little delulu. She thinks that the guy hates her, but she's the one that's like actually like bugging on this guy. Like she's the one that hates this guy, like wants to deny the attraction she feels for him. It is in New York City, but it has some culture to it, Spanish culture, not to be confused with Latino culture, okay? Please get educated, thank you very much. There is some Spanish phrases in here, okay? What else? I don't know. Did that convince you? I can't say anything else. I really don't like the book, but I hope that convinced you to read it. I do like on-the-nose, quirky, insecure girls that catches the attentions of the hot, mysterious, and cold man that no one seems to be able to impress, but ends up being obsessed with you in every which way, then this book is very much for you. This is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I hate this book. I won't touch another book from her because I actually read one of the other books that she has. I think it's like the American whatever, I don't even know what it's called, the Roommate Experiment or something like that. And I tried. Oh girl, I tried to get through it because I tried to give the author second chances. No, I put that down. I chucked it. I couldn't get through it. It was the exact same thing. Yeah, so 1 star, but my 1 star can be your 5 stars. So let me know if you like it. And if you like it, more power to you. At least you didn't waste your money. Okay. It's called Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. I think this was my first book that I ever read on an e-reader. And thank God, because I would never, ever buy this book. Ever. I'm so happy I didn't waste my money. Woo! It's called Library Card. Girl, get on it. Anyway, I give this 2 stars. I will say I did find this book funny, okay? I did put an amusing feeling to this review because this book was amusing. However, this book was not even like average enough for it to get the 3 stars. The idea of spoiling people's weddings, a celebration supposedly of love to two individuals becoming one, and finding love while doing the job was funny. It's a funny concept. Other than that, the characters are easily forgettable. I genuinely don't even remember how they look like but I need to look at the cover because the girl's blonde apparently, and I only know that because of the cover. The characters are so unmemorable, it's crazy. I already forgot their names and only vaguely recalled some physical features. It has the same character description every other contemporary romance novel has. And the plot, well, we wouldn't have a plot if the sex was removed. There were no true consequences. I kept waiting to see if their scheme was going to be outed or if the ex on the main male character side was going to be a fully fleshed out. I'm not gonna spoil what I added in there, so I'm gonna skip that part. You know, or if something bigger was going to happen with the female main character's ex. The female main character is kind of annoying at times. Also, the elders that live with her have a lot more personality. She has roommates and their elders. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the main reason I gave it a low rating is because of the cussing. It's one thing to add a curse word here and there. Sometimes it's needed. But when your book, every 3 to 5 sentences has a string of curse words wedged into the character's thoughts and reactions, seriously? I felt like I was walking by a bus filled with middle schoolers that think saying the words beep, 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 beep makes them cooler and older. You don't need to add curse words to make your story sound real and legit, and if this was turned into a movie, it would be cringy and it would have the humor of anyone but you. And would I watch that movie? Yeah, probably. Absolutely. You know, it's like entertaining enough to where I would watch it, but yeah, 2 stars. I think the person could have just written it better. She could have added more conflict to it. She could have actually put something more interesting, like to lead to a resolution. Nothing really happened, okay? I was very unsatisfied with how this concept was executed. Yeah, so let me know if you like it. How am I going to convince you to read this book? Okay, well, if you like an interesting concept such as falling in love through crashing other people's weddings, you're off to a great start. I think it was an interesting, fun concept. I think it's kind of funny how it starts. You know, there's a lot of humor. It's very comedic. So if you like comedy, like a comedy romance, this is it. I would say that this book is easy to get through. It does get a little bit repetitive, like in the end, but it is easy to get through. It's pretty quick. It's a short book. So if you want something that you don't have to really think about, but you just want to have fun, I would recommend that. You know, I would recommend this book. It's very plain and it's really easy to work through. I can't tell you if the guy's attractive though, because I genuinely don't know. I wouldn't necessarily think this is enemies to lovers. Actually, no, there's really no enemies to lovers to this. This is just 2 people just not believing in love, then falling in love with each other, and then having to tell each other that, oh my god, they like literally literally prove that to themselves that they actually do believe in love. It's that kind of vibe. Yeah, have fun with it. I do want to do an honorary mention. I DNF'd this book, but the book, it's called Butcher and Blackbird, or Blackbird and Butcher. I don't know. I'll put it up here though. I did not rate this book because I DNF'd it. I don't go ahead and rate books that I DNF. I don't even want to look it up because I don't even care that much, but I'll put it up here, okay? We know. I DNF'd that so quickly. I felt like I was opening the catacombs of a like dusted off old story that was found on Wattpad by a 12-year-old that genuinely needed to go to therapy because she was so long on Tumblr looking at all these kinks. It was genuinely unhealthy. But now she's like 35 and returned to it, and she was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and make this because I didn't go to therapy and I still practice this at home. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be funny, but this book was too much Wattpad-y for me, and also there was unnecessary cussing, and the concept actually was kind of cool, but it gave to romancy fantasy rather than like actual criminal documentary vibe. Like, I wanted to actually read a sinister book that has like a really twisted love story, not because I want to root for the love story, but because I like being able to see into, like, I like when authors, especially when they study this and research this, are able to create stories where I can tell, like, oh, you know how to get into a criminal's mind and like in like a really psychotic person's mind, and then create this illusion like it's an unreliable narrator. I dig that. I'm not one of those weirdos that fantasizes about murderers, okay? I'm looking at you. Literally you, Joe Goldberg lovers, weirdos. Anyways, that's my honorary mention. I DNF'd it because it was so bad. I'm not gonna convince you to read whatever that Butcher Blackbird book. I'm not gonna convince you to read it. If you want to read it, have fun. I'm not gonna commit. You're not gonna. No, we're not gonna do that. No. This one is called You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. I gave it a 2.5 stars. Oh my god, cutest covers ever. I was so disappointed. I literally wanted to love this book so much. I wanted to cry. I wanted to just be like, ah! I honestly thought this was gonna give Studio Ghibli vibes, and no. Here is what I did like. So see, I put I put the pros in the review. I got you. Don't worry, okay? Because you may like this book. Who knows? Here's what I liked. Number one, teenagers felt like teenagers. Some 1 or 2 star reviews kept commenting on the main character's selfishness, but like, hello, she lost a loved one. That felt like her entire world. She's spiraling, okay? Grief manifests in many different ways, and whether that be anger or selfishness, it's still grief. Expecting somebody to adhere to the standards you have for your own way of dealing with things is a little odd. Number 2, I felt like I was reading an anime. I will say that the way the author described this gave very much like anime vibes, where it kind of gets into like this fantastical, like surrealism storytelling way. Like there's the story happening, and then the way that the characters feel something or experience something, like let's say a dream or like a flashback, gets like a little bit like magical. It kind of gives that vibe, you know, and I liked it. It was interesting. What I didn't like though was the awkward flow. Some sentences could have been placed before or after others. There were times where it felt like we jumped from world, then scene building to character thoughts, and then descriptions about them, back to world, scene building. Loose ends, plot holes, little explanation and exploration, no depth. The idea of the story felt great, but it wasn't told in the best way. Number 3, characters are not fleshed out, predictable, boring, nothing felt unique to differentiate them as individuals. And 4, the writing. It's just not great. It's not great. I'm sorry. Okay? For the 1 stars that commented about the main character's selfishness, if the writing was better, I did critique the low review. I did critique the low reviews on this one because I felt like they were not critically thinking, or they were just not giving, like they were not understanding what could have been coming out of this book, like the potential. Anyways, I said for the 1 stars that commented about the main character's selfishness, if the writing was better and if the character was fleshed out, and if we actually got to know who Julie is, because quite literally we learned nothing, I believe the response would be different. But this is an example of the audience not connecting because we quite literally don't know Julie. We only know how she feels and what she's doing in her current state. Sure, we learned she likes writing and that she's a little OCD, but okay, so it's like every other person. I feel like the author did not trust the audience. There were so many times he described something and then re-described it a sentence or 2 later, almost to affirm we get the picture. I think if you are younger, like if you are probably like 10 to 16 years old, I think you would like this book. If you like an anime feel to it, maybe like a Ghibli vibe, I think this also could work for you. It is very flowery, a lot of like magical realism in it. You know, obviously she's talking to her dead boyfriend, so there's clearly some type of weird magic going on. If you like a story that is like a sad love story and touches on themes of just letting go and death, but being able to move on as well and saying goodbye, you know, this book could be good for you as well. Teenagers in high school figuring it out, you know, that's also nice. I don't know what else. I can't tell. I hope that convinced you, okay? Because I'm kind of tired. I'm really tired. I wouldn't read that book again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching me suffer through trying to convince you as to why you should read books I genuinely did not like, okay? Some were easier. I want to know why you like them, especially the ones that I really did not like. I do want to see from your perspective, what did you like? But let's, like, give me like a good review, okay? Don't give me like a, oh, I liked it because it was so cute. Girl, get out of my comments. No, I was just kidding. Just stay there. We can all have fun. You're all welcome. Anyway, yeah, I could do the opposite video of this where I convince you to read my like 3 stars and up book or 5 stars book, or I somehow unconvince you to read the books that I rated highly for some reason. That would be an interesting video. Like, how would I connect that together? Like, me telling you how much I love it, but then I would have to find things that maybe you wouldn't love to then convince you to not read it. How do I do that? That's actually pretty interesting. Let me know if you would like that. Go in the comments, let me know. Yeah, interact, like, comment, subscribe. That'd be so fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to bed. Bye.